Hello, and welcome to Connecting Tucson with Jaime Overturf, broadcasting from the Tucson Business Channel, a division of the Mark Bishop Media, situated in Stewart Title corporate offices on Broadway. Connecting Tucson is about connecting our community, local businesses, and organizations to help our community grow and thrive. Today we're talking to Daria Jagersky, the owner of the Busybody in Tucson, Arizona. Daria was born in Rhode Island. We're not going to hold that against her, though, because she did move here when she was 12. So she's been spending the most of her adult life here in Tucson, Arizona. She's always loved helping people. And when she would give people shoulder massages, they would mention she should do this for a living. She's pretty darn good. So that is what prompted her to go into school and massage. And we're going to dive deep into not only Daria today, but the Busybody and see what we can do. So thank you so much for joining us today, Daria.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start off with an easy question.
Okay.
Let's start off by letting our listeners know a little bit about you and your background within the massage industry.
A little bit about me in just the massage industry or in general?
In general.
In general, I have never really been like the typical route kind of person.
I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting journey.
Well, I tried like a lot of things, going to community college, and I was just like, nothing really ever stood out to me. And I always loved, basically teaching people things or just helping people in general. I was always really good at that, but I knew that being a traditional school teacher wasn't for me. And I just knew that traditional college wasn't for me. And particularly healthcare field, oh my God, I would just faint with seeing people hurt. So I was like, that's not exactly the kind of help I want to do.
No.
But I always was really good at just naturally giving people massage. And someone told me one day, they said, you really should think about doing that for a living. And I didn't even know. I was like, you can do that for a living?
Oh, wow.
And he said, yeah, actually, we have a really good school here. You should check it out. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did. And I really loved it. I was like, wow, yeah, this is actually totally what I want to do.
Nice. So when was that? When you actually went into the massage school?
Oh my gosh, we're talking more than 20 years ago.
So more than 20 years experience you have right now. Excellent.
I believe I entered that school when it was 2000. It was just the beginning of 2000 and I graduated in 2001.
Oh, wow. So did you open your own business right away?
No, I knew in school that's what I wanted to do. Just being in the school and getting the education and, they helped you like kind of shape your future, like where do you want to go in this field? And I knew that's what I wanted to do, was eventually open up my own clinic. But I knew I wasn't ready for that right out of the bat.
Got it.
So I went to a place that was just amazing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was a clinic very much like how we run it.
Oh, wow.
And the owner of it, he really let therapists just blossom and become the therapist that they wanted to be. And I was like, yeah, that's totally what I want to do.
Too often that is not the case.
I know. So in a way, I've always worked for myself. I knew eventually I'd want to go bigger.
So what made you want to open up, your new business versus working for someone else for the rest of the time?
Oh, because I never worked for anyone else, really. Okay. I had always worked for myself because I was always a contractor. I was never an employee.
That's right. So each therapist is an independent contractor.
Yeah.
It's not like you're in W-2 paid.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and that was how I started. That was my very first job at my first clinic. And I was like, yeah, this is all I want to do. I don't want to work for someone else. I don't want to be dictated to. I want to really figure out, how I want to grow in this field. And I always knew that I wanted to open a clinic. Like I said, even in school, I came up with the name, The Busybody, when I was in school.
So why did you want to open up a clinic of your own?
I don't know.
That spark?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Well, I just knew too. I was like, I know I would be good at this. I know I would be good at working with people and having people work with me.
And do you help your therapist now? And see, there's your helping. That's probably why you wanted to do it, to get into that, I think.
One of the really neat parts is that I've actually had several people who went through my clinic who have now opened up their own.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like,
so they've used you as a building block to make their own.
Yeah. And a lot of them have done things like similar things in my business that I do too. And we all still keep in touch.
That's the tell of a good person, manager, business, when they're trying to copy you. That is good.
Yeah. I was happy. I was like, awesome, good. We need more people like you guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about the Busybody and what separates you from the other therapists in the area.
I would definitely say it's the more personalization. I mean, there's a lot of great, really local places out there, and I actually do support them. And, if like we are too busy, I'll send people to them if it comes to that. But I would definitely say we're a lot more personalized. Like a lot of like places in town, they're really awesome, like I said, but a lot of them can be, I would say, kind of stiff, I guess. They stick more to certain rules and criteria. Where we, like, a lot of people have come through and noticed our staff immediately. They're like, you guys are all like a family. I was like, yeah, we really are.
Really are. So can you explain some of the personalization that you're talking about that the other clinics may not have?
Well, because I don't breathe down my therapist's necks.
Okay.
The only concern I have is I always tell them this. I'm like, I want you to do the best work for your customer. I don't want to dictate, how you're working. I just want you to do your absolute best work. And they have always said that's the best thing about this place is the freedom that we have. Because that's really all I want.
That is.
It's for everyone to have a really great experience. Because not everybody wants the same thing. That's also why we don't have like those kind of pricing like differences. We say it's this much for a 60-minute and we're going to talk to you and you're going to tell us exactly what you need in that hour. So I know some places are like, oh, if you want deep tissue, it's $10 more. If you want sports massage. And a lot of people, even the ones who get massage a lot, they're like, I just don't want that.
Sometimes people don't know what they want either. Yeah. So like, they're like, massage, please.
Or they say, well, I really want like some deep work on my shoulders, but not my whole body. So I don't know if I should choose a deep tissue.
And why pay the extra when you only really want it on one spot? Exactly.
So it just confuses people. And I was like, no, we're not doing that here.
Yes. And I love it because, if you don't know already, I know Daria. I go to her clinic and her and her team are phenomenal. I just wanted to let that out there. What services do you currently offer?
Besides massage, we also have a lovely little foot treatment that we do.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I did
not know about this foot treatment.
Yeah, we call it Revive Your Souls. And it consists of a nice soak and a scrub and a foot mask. And then we do like the peppermint spray. We have this really good foot balm.
I feel cheated. I'm joking. I do, but no, I was like, I'm going to have to try that out. How long does that last? I mean, how long is
half an hour?
That's a half an hour
of just
feet. And can you add that on to the package?
You can add that on to any massage, and people do.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing for my next one.
It feels really great, particularly in the summer because, of all the cooling.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really hot out and people come in and just love to get that treatment because they're like, oh, it's 100 degrees out. Let me get that nice cool foot treatment.
And especially here in Arizona, your heels and feet dry out so badly. And I don't oftentimes get a pedicure. I just don't like the nail polish because I just do blasé. So now that I know you do this.
Yeah.
Hey. Sorry, just thought I'd...
And we do aromatherapy, of course.
Right, yes. And you don't charge extra for that?
No, we do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, you do.
Well, I mean, okay, let me correct myself because there are times where we will add a little aromatherapy in for free.
Right.
And I guess you could say the aromatherapy experience, like it's only $5 if you want to add that in because it's more than just adding scent to your...
Right. From the beginning, like you do it in the beginning and then you add it to...
Yeah. We also, we have it in the diffuser, so it's diffused throughout the room. We're also adding it to the massage lotion. And with our aromatherapy, we're wrapping up your hands and feet in hot towels. So we make it more of like an experience.
Right. Because I know the one I do it, I was thinking because Patricia, obviously, she does the sniffing beforehand. Yeah. And sometimes that's all what some people call aromatherapy when you go to a clinic. So that's what I was thinking when you said aromatherapy. I wasn't thinking the experience. And now I'm going to have to add $5 and this foot massage that I'm thinking about. And I have all of these things and I'm like, I got to call this week. Because I told you I was going to call this week.
Yep.
So after me and my husband went on that bike riding where it beat me up.
Oh, yes. See, have you ever done a hot stone?
No. So you do hot stone too?
Those are phenomenal massages. That is deeply relaxing. It'll make you sleep so well.
Okay, I'm in. Can we do all of that together?
I don't know about all that together, but
We're gonna put together what's called the Jaime package.
There you go.
Or the Connecting Tucson package, and then we're gonna do something with that.
Literally everything you offer all at once.
There we go. Okay. Do you offer any specials for the holidays? I know they're coming up.
We right now are running until Christmas Eve. We have 5% off all your gift certificates that you buy. And that's for any amount. So 5% off every gift certificate now until Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And that is online only offer.
Okay. So they have to do it online. They can't come into the store. Yep. Okay. And is that just like a gift certificate that they get emailed to them? Mm-hmm. Okay. So perfect. So it's a virtual one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So as you know, I come to you. What is the main advantage of going to a local massage place like the Busybody versus, I guess, a large, I'm not going to mention the large chains, any of the larger chains that are out there that you can find throughout the U.S.?
Well, the biggest difference in our case is that we actually give a full hour massage. That's one of the biggest things that people don't know about with a chain. Mm-hmm. They advertise it's an hour. It's not an hour. It's 50 minutes.
Yep.
And a lot of people are like, hey, I thought it was. And they say, oh, well, that's sorry, but that includes your time to get interviewed and undressed and redressed. And I'm like, that's just not fair. No. I don't think that's fair at all.
I mean, I like to arrive early so that way I can do that and get my full hour. I think that's because I always used to have that experience.
Yeah.
And I always kind of felt gypped, honestly.
Yes. And I think it's a bait and switch myself. I don't like that. I was like, no, we actually give a full hour of hands-on time. You do your full 60 minutes. And I know sometimes you give an extra 5 every once in a while. I know. Well, because like I said, I mean, we are all about what the experience is for the customer. I mean, that is my most important thing. That's what we care about the most. We don't care about how many people we get through the door. We care about how many people we keep coming back. And I think that's one of the other major differences that's separating you from the major chains is because you do take the time to get to know your clients personally. And you do the interviews and they do keep coming back for that reason, I think. So yeah, I think it's not about selling memberships. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. And you don't do memberships. You don't do the whole, hey, we're going to go ahead and charge you for, $100 this month and the $100 next month. And then you can combine them and then it keeps going on and then it works. That's just cumbersome in my opinion. So it is. And a lot of times people will find, life gets in the way. All of a sudden something happened and they're like, oh my God, I didn't get to do any of my massages. And I was like, kind of like me. I've had to reschedule several times and you all have been super accommodating. Well, we understand. Things happen. And it's like, that's fine. Just reschedule. Just please. Call. Yeah, reschedule. Yes. Don't just not show up. So yeah, you will get charged if you don't show up. And I think that's fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, as long as you call, I think that's fair. Yeah. And I think that's good. So we've mentioned a few different type of massages that I obviously didn't know about the hot stone massage. What types of massage parlors are out there or types of massages that there are? And I'll say that is what I like the big things, like never call it a parlor. Oh. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Thank you for correcting me. What do I call it? It's a massage clinic. Massage clinic. I'm going to change that. When someone says parlor, that means one of the, you could say, naughty places. Ooh. And there's a lot of those places. We don't want those. No. Okay. Oh, you could spot those a mile away, though. Oh. Oh, yeah. I guess I'm not looking for them. We know because we're in the industry. Right. And actually, I don't think a lot of people in Tucson know what a big problem that really is. Really? It's a huge problem. Oh. And it really bothers me because according to the Polaris Project, that is a nonprofit that works with sex trafficking victims. Mm-hmm. And according to a study that they did in the last few years, massage is unfortunately the number one use. Really? Yeah. For sex trafficking? Yes. I did not know that. That's what really bothers us a lot. And it really hurts the reputation of the good ones It does. It does. And I would really like to be able to change some laws regarding that. I think that's going to be, I'm going to have to do something on that one as well. Like another I'd love topic to. I would absolutely love to bring you on and one of my other guests that are doing that. We have conversation about that because I didn't even know I knew that there was a
problem out there, but I didn't realize that it would be going through.
It's that big of a problem.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, I mean, like I said, look at the stats from the Polaris project. They found there was 9,000 illicit, 9,000, all of them massage parlors. And that was just what they found.
Not what they didn't uncover.
Exactly.
That is so sad.
And like I said, for those of us in the industry, I'm like, you can spot those places a mile away.
Well, you and I are going to have to chat offline so I can make sure that I help keep people away from them. Excellent. So let me ask you this. I know what the first visit might look like. Mm-hmm. So if somebody comes to your massage clinic, what could they anticipate for their first visit, their very ever first visit? Can you walk us through what that might look like?
Yeah, basically the therapist is going to come out and greet you, and they're going to say, their name. So you're going to not feel like, you're just another number. And they bring you back to their room, and they're going to say, how are you today? What brings you in? Like, do you have any really specific areas you need worked on? Why are you here? Do you need to just relax? Do you want me to work on really specific spots? And we're just basically going to have that conversation with you and figure out exactly what you need.
Exactly. I remember the first time I came to was after a car accident. And I didn't need a full body massage. And that's what I had told my therapist. I'm like, I don't want a full body massage. Yep. I was just in a car accident. I need focus on my neck, my shoulders, and my back. And she did just that, and she did it wonderfully. She didn't complain. She didn't do anything. Didn't tell me that, we need to do the whole body type deal. I didn't try to make me feel like I didn't know what I was trying to do. So, yes, excellent.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's all about the experience for our customers. That's our number one goal, is to make it the best experience.
All right. So there are many different types of massages out there, or therapy that's available, massage therapy. Can you walk us through some of them? You just mentioned a stone, what was it?
Hot stone.
Sorry. I don't know that one. Sorry. So can you give us some examples of some of the other types of massages or therapies that you do?
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff. A lot of our therapists have done advanced training in different areas. 2 of our therapists are certified in manual lymph drainage, which is really fantastic for people who have just had surgeries, and that includes plastic surgeries too. Sometimes edema builds up from that, and there's a very specific type of massage to get rid of edema, and it works. And some of the other therapists are, like I said, they've taken things like a very specific myofascial release. I mean, I'm not certified, but I've taken several classes in SMART therapy, and that stands for spontaneous muscle release technique.
Oh,
yeah. There's
that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What's that?
That is a very.
Is it just your muscles start to spasm?
No, not at all.
Sorry.
That's for people who are in very serious chronic pain.
Oh,
and it's a very gentle way to release it. It's amazing. It's the smallest movement, and it gets the muscle to just completely relax.
Wow.
It's the best classes I ever took in my life.
I didn't realize, of course, the only ones I've ever done have been, I guess, a Swedish massage. And then when Patricia...
I think you'd be surprised at what you have had that you haven't realized. Because that's what we do. We've all...
yes. I didn't realize that that's what Patricia and everybody was doing. Everybody else just called it a Swedish or, aromatherapy. I knew. I didn't know that one.
But a lot of times we'll blend like that. We'll put techniques into the Swedish massage.
Yeah, because I do remember Patricia doing things with my legs and moving them around to try to, I guess, joints, which I loved, by the way. It released a lot of my lower back tension.
Yeah, and that could have been some kind of very specific stretch training that she had received. Yes, everyone has had different things that they have learned over the years, and they apply that during their treatment.
Okay. Is there any massage that's most generally requested?
I would say the 60-minute.
The 60-minute?
Yeah,
okay.
That's pretty standard.
And how many? What's the times that you offer?
That we're open?
No, not that you're open. The massage times. I apologize. How long are your massages? What lengths do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was phrased a lot better. Let me do that again. What lengths of massages do you do?
We offer a 30-minute massage. We also offer 15-minute add-ons. So if you want a little bit more than half an hour, but a little less than an hour, you could make a 45-minute.
Okay.
But the pretty much standard are half an hour, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and 2 hours if you want to go really amazing. Or like I said, 75 minutes as well.
Right. So you can add on. You can even add on if you wanted to do, instead of a full 2 hours, you could add on a 15-minute to the 90.
Yes.
And you're only paying for the time.
Yeah.
You're not paying for the services.
time.
Okay.
Exactly. And you're getting your therapist's expertise for that amount of time.
And they are experts. I will say this. Your staff/family is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I will continue to go to you, even if we're right there. So how does one know what type of massage would be the best for them?
Well, that is a good question. I don't know if anybody really specifically knows.
Okay.
Because like we won't know that until we actually talk to them. Like I've had people say, you know, oh yeah, I really want a deep tissue. You could just totally beat me up. And then you start to, and they're like, actually, no, I'm just kidding. That's too much. I'm like,
You don't know that. Yes.
Yeah.
Patricia does beat me up, but I'm sore the next day, but it feels wonderful.
And I always tell people, I'm like, okay, I do firm massage, but if you want someone to really beat you up, you don't want to see me because I don't do that.
No. And you do have a couple people there that are really good in deep tissue.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm, like I said, I do firm massage, but I don't do like super deep tissue. I just don't. That's just not the kind of work I do. So if someone really wants it, I say, I got the perfect person for you.
You have one or two, I think. Are there any plans for the future of the Busybody?
Yeah.
I'm
really, really hoping, what I'm really trying to work on right now is hopefully to be able to buy my building and do a major renovation on it.
So you're, what kind of renovations are you thinking?
Oh, I'm talking like a total gut job of the place and like adding a couples room, expanding the back of it, put the break room back there, hopefully put some laundry facilities there on site, like washer, dryer, just make it into like a real modern, like awesome space.
Oh my God, that sounds phenomenal.
We get a lot of requests for couples massage. Like a lot of people want to be in the same room.
Right.
And we can't accommodate that. We don't have a room that's big enough for that. And I would love to have one.
Oh my goodness, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that would be
I can finally maybe get my husband to go do a massage with me.
Yeah, I know. And
Instead of giving me his massage that I got him for Christmas that he never used.
Exactly. So we're really hoping in the future we can do that.
How long in the future do you think that might be?
Well, I'm actually in the process of doing that right now. I mean, not the renovation. Like I still have to apply for money for that, but I still need to speak to my landlord about that. And I'm planning on doing that very soon and just being like, hey, would you be interested? And so we'll see.
Oh, I will be sending positive thoughts your way. And let me just ask you this. So since you're going to be doing some major renovation and construction, are you going to be open during that construction?
Yes, we'll definitely have to move our facility.
Okay, so you'll move to a temporary facility for the time being until that's done.
Because something like that, we're talking like 4 months.
Yes.
I was like, we can't be closed for 4 months.
No, I was going to say, I can't go without a massage.
Yeah, we can't do that. So yeah, we definitely have to find a temporary residence during that time. But just for the getting a couple's room alone, I'm like, oh God, we have to do that.
Yeah, I know a lot of large places do that, and I think that's becoming more popular as people start getting into massages, or as they're like, oh, I need to go on vacation or something.
And even like, sometimes it's fun for a girls' day. They want to do something like that. So it's just fun to do something like that together.
You just struck something. So girls' day, do you take large parties?
Yeah, we can accommodate up to 5 people.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. What's helped you the most in terms of growing your business, do you think?
Networking, really.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that is like the thing that has helped more than anything is connecting with other businesses and just getting to know other people, because you never know who knows who.
You never do. So what kind of networking do you do right now?
Right now, I'm in a business group specifically. It's Mary Vierthaler's business group.
Okay, I know that one.
Yeah, I know. See?
It's like 3 degrees of separation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and just pretty much anybody that I can talk to, even the businesses in our area, like in our current complex. I mean, I know the dentist there. I'm really friendly with them, and they send us people. I've sent them people.
Referrals are great.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the best when you have somebody that you know and you trust and they say, you should go here. That's phenomenal.
Well, and I do, like I said, I do the same thing for, other massage therapists. There are people, like I said, they want a couples room. I said, well, hey, I know a great local place that does have a couples room. Why don't you go there as opposed to sending them to a chain?
That's what I would prefer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've had people call and they're like, where are you located? And they'll be like way far away from us. So I'll be like, oh, no, you need to go to this place. That's near your house. Yeah. So I try to do that for people.
You've got to have that good karma out so the karma comes back to you, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just, I think it's silly when people act like we're all in competition. I'm like, I think there's plenty of people that live here to go around for everybody.
I do too.
I believe in helping everybody out. I'm like, as long as we're all supporting local, I think that's the most important thing.
100% support local. Mm-hmm. What challenges are currently the massage industry facing?
Oh, boy. My opinion, the biggest challenge right now is education.
Oh, okay.
There's a huge problem with the lack of good massage education right now.
Really?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, we don't have an anchor school here anymore. The Desert Institute that used to be here where I got trained, they closed a while ago. And unfortunately, since then, corporations have come in and bought up massage schools, and then they are changing the way it's done.
Oh.
And it's really hurt the industry because, unfortunately, they're trying to make it seem like really super easy to do. And I'm like, no, this is not easy to do.
You could easily hurt somebody, in my opinion.
Yes, you can. Because if you don't know, the body, yeah, you can press on an artery too hard and cause some real damage to somebody.
That is a very big problem. What changes would you like to see in the massage industry?
This is my next crazy dream, is that I also want to open a school because we need to bring the standards back.
Absolutely.
We really do.
If it's that bad.
The standards used to be extremely high here. Like when I first was in massage school, the standard was 1,000 hours of training.
Oh, and so what's the standard now?
700 or less.
Or less?
Yeah. Which, 700 doesn't sound that bad, but here's the biggest problem is that a lot of the stuff being offered out there is being offered mostly in what they call hybrid form. So it's barely even in-person learning. And that's like, oh, well, you learn your massage techniques in person, but everything else you do online. And I completely disagree with that.
How do you get certified by learning on?
Here's the biggest problem with that is that they don't do any testing. And they just basically, you go through school, what they call a school, and then they give you a license. There's no testing to see if you retained any of your information or how well you have done. They just, as soon as you graduate, it's bad.
Scary.
It is bad.
Oh my goodness.
And I can tell you that's why I have had a lot of trouble hiring, because there are a lot of the people coming out of these programs and it's not their fault. They don't know anything. And I'm just like, I cannot hire these people. I can't do it.
No, you'd like to, but you don't want your clients to be injured or doing anything of that nature.
I mean, our standards are very high. And there's, like I said, there's too much just lack of education. Like for me, learning about anatomy is more than just memorizing where muscles are. There is a lot more to learning about anatomy and the way it relates in the human body than just being able to look at a muscle chart and name what those muscles are.
Yeah, no. And you need to know how that muscle is connected to the other muscle and how it can move if you're pressing it, I would assume. So
yeah.
Even I know that, and I haven't gone to school.
Yeah. Well, to me, saying it's easy to do massage is like saying it's easy to play football. Like, hey, you could be a running back. Go run down the field. I'll throw you some balls. See, there you go. You can do it. You're a pro. I'm like, no.
That's not, no.
Anytime you're working with the human body, I mean, the human body is the most complex machine on earth.
Absolutely.
And if you really want to work that body correctly and well, you need to know it. You need to really, really know it. And unfortunately, the education has gotten so far away from that.
Oh, gee, it's
not good.
That's just disheartening. I was really hoping that I have some positive news on that swing, but we'll see. Well, this is also very interesting. I am learning so much that I did not even know was going to come out of this this podcast. But anyways, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Connecting Tucson with Jaime, where we focus on connecting our community, local businesses, and organizations to help our community grow and thrive. As your local insurance professional for all insurance needs, I know how important it is to make new and lasting connections in your own community. You never know how a connection is going to create a spark or pull you in a unique direction. If you are a small business owner or involved in a community project or a nonprofit and you'd like to be featured on the show, please feel free to give me a call. All of my information is on the Tucson Business Channel website. Just click on Connecting Tucson with Jaime, and there you find me. You can see my smiling face. Right now, we're talking with Daria Jagersky, the owner of The Busybody. I know COVID has been damaging for many business owners. Can you tell us how COVID impacted you, and is it still impacting you? What are you doing right now to help with that?
I was really lucky in terms of COVID, I think.
Nice.
Like, we were already pretty established at that time. So, oh God, I felt so bad for some of the businesses who just opened that year. That's
yes.
awful. I mean, we had already been pretty well established,
That's
so
good.
it really didn't affect us too much.
That's phenomenal. I'm glad
was
to hear
lucky.
that. I'm glad to hear some local businesses kind of mustered through it.
Well, in my case, I was extremely lucky because, like I said, my landlord is really amazing.
Oh, that's
Like, my building is not owned by a corporation. It's owned just by a guy.
Oh, wow.
He bought it as an
That's the
investment
best.
property. Yeah, so he and I have a great working relationship. And, of course, everybody knew what was going on with COVID. And he was like, oh, don't even worry about it. He's like, just give me the money when you have it.
That is phenomenal
Yeah.
to have. I think that could be a huge help for you as well.
It
for
was.
keeping you.
So I didn't have to worry. I mean, I knew we had to be shut down, but he was like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Give me the money when you have it. I'm like, oh, thank you so much.
Gotta love those people in the world.
Yeah, I was very supported by him, which was great.
That's
so
wonderful.
that helped me a lot. So right there, I was like, no, we're going to get through this. We're going to be fine.
Excellent. Do you find that clients or therapists have misconceptions about the massage industry at all?
I would say misconceptions. I would say clients do. Because like I said, like you didn't know what a huge problem sex trafficking is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, like they hear those stories about, where it occurs and things like that. And, people talk about how to recognize the signs. And I'm like, most people, like I said, do not know that our industry is the number one disguise used for prostitution
I didn't.
fronts.
Absolutely, I did not know. And
Yeah.
that's something that I'm going to be promoting out there so people can learn and keep their eyes open. Because
Yeah.
I think it's a huge problem across the world as well. It's not just here in the U.S. It's
It is.
everywhere.
But
So.
that's what they use to disguise it is massage, unfortunately.
That is so sad.
It is. And the biggest reason that I think that it flourishes is because it's very difficult for, unfortunately, law enforcement to really shut these places down because you would have to build a case of prostitution.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to prove.
That is true.
This is why I would like to see some laws on the books that say you cannot open a massage establishment without licensure, without saying, all the therapists who are working here, I want to see your license.
So you can open up a massage
Yes.
clinic without a
Yes.
license here?
And they do that all the time.
Really?
And like I said, that's not what they're looking to bust them for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I was like,
Because I have to have my license in order to do my business. I hold like 5 different licenses to do my businesses.
Yeah.
You would think,
Well,
just like a restaurant has to hold a liquor license
Yes.
or other license. What?
a legitimate massage therapist must hold the license as well. But like I said, there's no one going around checking, unfortunately. So anyone can open a massage place and you don't have to have licensure.
I know you don't know the answer to this, but why don't they check the license
That's a good
permits?
question.
I mean, that should be like the number one. If you're opening up a business, you're going to the city to say, "Hey, I'm opening up a business." Okay, you're opening. Where's your license?
Yeah. There's lots of ways around that.
Oh, geez.
There's lots of ways around that.
I'm learning so much from you, Daria, but it's not all good. Well, it's good for information for me, but it's just...
Well, it would be easier for the police to shut these places down if it could be that simple. It'd be like, you are operating an illegal massage business. You don't have licenses to do this. You need to shut this down. But unfortunately, they have to try prostitution. And that's very, very hard to prove.
Yeah, that can be tricky. A lot of loopholes in that one.
Yes. So for me, I would like to see the laws change and say, if you did not go to school, you should be able to prove I went to school. Yes, here is, my graduation certificate. Here's my testing, my boards that I took, and here is my license. So yes, you're legal. Any of these places that they walk into that are, illicit, they could ask for that and they'd be like, no, I don't have that. And they'd be like, cool, shut down, get out of here.
Don't you have your license hanging up in your... Mm-hmm. So that could be one thing that I guess clients could look for to see if there's at least a license. Because I think I have my licenses hanging up, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can actually go on the Arizona State Board and look up any therapist.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's my question. It's like, okay, so in the illicit ones, they don't do stuff like that, and yet they're not getting shut down. Because unfortunately, this is still like, it's considered so minor that they don't care. And I'm like, well, but they're... Yeah, like I said.
It's like a circle, a never-ending circle.
It is.
Someone may have good intentions, but just because they have good intentions doesn't mean that they can't hurt somebody if they're not licensed.
No, they don't have good intentions. Let me explain that. Any of these places, like I said, you can spot them a mile away because they all have those little neon signs blinking. And what legitimate business do you know of blacks out their windows so you cannot see inside?
Ooh.
None. Nobody does that.
That's a safety risk. I wouldn't walk into a building that had everything blacked out.
All of the illicit places do that. All of them. Their windows are completely blacked out.
I'm taking notes.
And they do not want you to see inside. And a couple of my therapist colleagues and I have gone into those places because, we just want to ask questions. And they will not let you in.
Really?
Yeah. There's someone that will immediately come out and say, we don't work on women here. I'm like, I'm sorry, why not?
What?
Yeah. What legitimate massage business do you know of would turn that away?
Nobody.
But yeah. And that you cannot get into the back. Like, typically, like you'll go in the place that's, the windows are blacked out and you go in, but there is like this very small little waiting area. And then that's all shut off by a door and you have to ring a bell for someone to come out. So you can never see back there. You don't know what's going on.
That would set off so many red flags for me.
Exactly. So it's not a legitimate place. And like I said, if you're a woman, they'll kick you out so fast. They're like, oh, no. We don't work on women here. I'm like, oh, okay, why not? And we don't work on women. I'm like, okay.
That is so... Well, while we're on that subject of, I guess, licensing and training, you mentioned earlier that your therapists do extra training. Mm-hmm. Do you require your therapists to go through the training and get licensed?
Well, that's actually a requirement of the state.
Okay.
Is that you must receive 24 hours of continuing education every 2 years.
Oh.
Which is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's one. So what should a new client ask their therapist then?
I would say they should ask them, how long have you been doing this? And I would ask, are there any kind of like specialties or like skills, that you've learned like that could help? And they should be able to have a list.
Absolutely. Do you require your therapist to take any specialized training or do you just let them do their own?
No. I just look for people who are well-rounded and who love what they do.
And want to help others as well, obviously. Yeah. Okay. What would an ideal client look like for you?
An ideal client? I don't think I would have an ideal client.
Okay.
Just anybody who really wants to come in.
who needs help and might need to, anybody who may need to come in, relieve a little bit of stress, or maybe it can be anyone from who needs a little light massage down to deep tissue, down to I need specialized work.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Actually, my ideal client would be somebody who puts that kind of value on their own self-care.
I like that answer.
I think that's one thing that the pandemic has taught us is the importance of self-care.
Yes, absolutely.
And, I think a lot of people also still see massage as kind of like a luxury. I'm like, no, it's really not. We've moved away from just like this is like for rich people at a resort.
Right.
It's like there's a lot of really great local clinics out there like ours that could really, really help you.
And you're supporting local and you're helping yourself. I try to at least, COVID and me getting sick. I was sick for a while. But I try to go at least once a month.
And that's our rule of thumb. At least give yourself once a month. I mean, it's just so good for you. And
it's not that much.
Yeah, the effects of massage are cumulative. Like they can, the more you go, the better you feel. Your body begins to just get better. Mm-hmm. You sleep better. Massage boosts your immunity. It helps your circulation. I mean, it's just good.
Exactly. And I love the fact that every single therapist that I've been to at your location has always at the end of it said, okay, I'm going to show you a few tips to help this right here. So you can do this at home and relieve that muscle.
Yes.
And then they're like, here's how you do some twisting. You lay down, you get a tennis ball. And they're very descriptive in that they take the time to try to help you, not just there, but help you at home so you can relieve that at home. And I think that is another thing. That just popped into my head that sets you apart. Every single one of your therapists have done that. And that they are wonderful. I remember with my neck one that they had some specific ones. I couldn't even turn my head. And she got me to turn my head within probably about 2 months.
Awesome.
She was phenomenal. She was awesome.
Love hearing that.
I know. They were great. So what do you find is the most challenging part about being an actual business owner?
Oh my gosh.
Because you are a business owner. You're not just a therapist. You are a business. You wear multiple hats.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I could relate it down to like one specific thing.
Well, what's difficult? We're in Tucson and owning your business, and I know a lot of businesses like to hear what's some of the struggles. What would you have liked to have somebody tell you when you were first opening up your business that you wish you would have known?
You know what? Honestly, it's all about finances. And I don't mean having as much money as possible. I mean, it's about managing it well. For anybody out there who really wants to know how to do a business, you have to read the book Profit First.
Oh.
By Mike Michalowicz. I cannot recommend a better business book. I've read a lot of them, but this is literally the most practical advice you will ever get, and it works.
Nice. I'm going to have to check that out. I mean, I've read a lot of books. I've not heard of that one before.
Yeah, and I'm surprised how many people haven't, and I recommend it to people all the time. I'm like, you have got to read this book. You have to read this book, because a lot of people focus so much on like, well, how do I get more sales, or how do I do this, or how do I market better or network better? And I'm like, you guys really need to look at your finances more than anything. And I love this guy because he is just so good at that. And he even says, he's like, look, man, don't be fooled about, how big a business is or how successful they look. He's like, I have gone in to businesses that are making 7 figures that are 1 check away from bankruptcy.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So he's like, do not be fooled. If you do not have your finances in order, no matter how small you are not going to succeed.
That is excellent advice. And as a financial advisor, I highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
Finances are probably the number one reason that businesses close in the first or second year.
Oh, yeah.
Because they try to go too big too fast, or they try to get too much overhead and they can't do that, and then they end up closing and they're still paying on loans that they can't make up. And I've seen in my industry alone people come and go because they don't realize what it takes to run a business, or they didn't realize that they needed such a permit, or they needed to have this open, or they needed to do now I'm playing HR, I've got to have that too. And now balancing work and home is pretty difficult as well.
Yeah.
So how do you manage the work home life?
Oh, gosh. I make sure that I take time for myself. Like, I really stuck to a schedule. Like, that is one of the biggest mistakes I think I see a lot of therapists making and they burn themselves out so fast, is because, they want to be available for their clients, but they do it like all the time. And I'm like, guys, set a work schedule.
And have them work in between it. If they can't, then...
Yeah. I can't come in that day. And a lot of people will be like, okay, well, I can fit you in. And I'm like, okay, now you just gave yourself 8 appointments in one day. I'm like, this is not good.
That's a lot.
It's too much.
Yes.
In my opinion. So like for me, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I work 2 to 7. And I do not negotiate on that. I'm like, no. People are like, you can't come in early. No. I can come in at that time. And then on my other days, that's my 9 to 2 day.
Okay.
And, you can be accommodating to a point. Like, you cannot over accommodate to the point where anytime anyone asks you for an appointment, you're there. Right. I'm like, okay, people are going to take advantage of you. They're going to, and that drives me nuts. Like, especially when people will discount their prices, like just to get people in the door. I'm like, you're making a mistake.
You're going to lower your services. Absolutely. So you just made something pop into my head. What is the average number of clients that a massage therapist would have during a day? A balanced one versus...
It always depends on the person, but I really would highly recommend to not do more than 6 max. Okay. I mean, for me, I just do 4 max. Okay. And like I said, it's just, you really need to take care of yourself and not burn yourself out.
So that's true. So like as you, I'm not a massage therapist, so that's why I'm asking these questions. So do you get tired at all if you do too many? How does that work?
It depends on the kind of massage you're doing.
Okay.
Like there are times like I've done 4, no problem. But sometimes when you get someone who is like big, like a big muscular person or really tall person, like you get a couple of those in a row and they're 90 minutes, you're like, oh, okay. I'm good after that.
So that's when you start interrogating them on the phone. How high are you? Like, how tall are you? Like, I need to figure this out. I don't need to. Okay, no.
Yeah,
okay.
but also there again, that's why you should limit how many appointments you take because you never know who is going to walk through your door. Excellent. So it's like if you're leaving your schedule open all day long and you took 8 people, and what if they were all over 6 feet, like 200 pounds, you'd die.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like
I couldn't imagine, but I mean, you don't just use your hands. I know sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about leverage and using your body weight correctly, but still, it
still takes a toll.
It does.
Absolutely. So what do you like best about what you do?
I just love actually seeing change happen right under my hands. That is an amazing just part of massage.
Can you elaborate that?
Yeah. Like when someone comes in and you can actually feel, like I'll be feeling around, wherever, like on their back or on their shoulder, wherever they told me they're having that pain. And you feel that tension. You feel the muscle and, getting it to release and actually feeling it melt under your hands. And then they can feel it. And I repalpate and I'm like, yeah, there you go. It feels a lot better. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, it does. Just actually getting to see change happen instantly.
I've had that. I've had one where it was really very noticeable. It was almost like not a pop, but a like,
yeah.
Like, oh, hey.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can turn my head.
Exactly.
Wow.
With the neck. That was a specific one where she was doing that.
Yeah. That's the neatest part is actually creating instant change.
Does that happen often?
It does.
Really? Mm-hmm. Even with one massage? It could be your first massage and it happens with change.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll always create a little bit of change. Like, I mean, I always tell people, particularly ones who are coming in, oh my God, I love that when someone comes in and they're like in bad shape. And then you talk to them and like, oh, well, yeah, this has been going on for like 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay. This is going to take more than one session.
Right. And what do you tell when people come in with bad shape like I was that, I can't really do this. I'm going to how do you articulate that to the client to let them know?
Yeah, we explain that. We're like, okay, this is going to take some time, for your body to readjust because as I said, the human body is a very complex machine. And I was like, think about all the systems you have in your body, your respiratory system, your circulatory system, your nervous system, all these systems interact with each other. So it's like reprogramming a giant computer.
Yeah.
So that's going to take a little bit of time and your body is going to go, oh, okay, you want me to let go of that. Okay.
That's nice.
But yeah, it takes a little bit.
So I know you get a lot of repeats and that's great. And I know in larger chains, they get some repeats as well, but it's almost like it's a number. How do your therapist, when they have that repeat person come back, how do they know what they've worked on beforehand and where the problem spots are and what's going on?
We keep very specific notes. Like everybody has a file, so we can refer back to what we do. And we always keep notes on our last session. So I like to refer back to what I did because, you see so many people, you won't always remember. So I'll look at my notes and be like, oh, okay, so last time this was going on, with your back, how did it feel after what we did last time? So I can get very specific.
And I can tell you the large chains do not do that.
Oh, really?
No, not that I've been to. They'll just be, oh, you're coming back. Okay, what do we need to work on today? At least the ones that I've been to. Or even some of the, what do I call them? I'll call them foo-foo spas. Like, you get at the large resorts.
Yes.
If you go to, I'm not knocking anybody that does that, but if you go to a large resort chain, they're not going to keep a file. They're just going to know that you came back.
It's a different focus
It's
for
a different focus, and I'll say that you have a different focus, which is more personalized and helping someone get their body to where they need it to be so they can be their best self.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you go to a resort, you're going for a vacation. Yeah. And why would you keep files on that? Because most of their people don't come back.
Right.
Or they might come back once a year if they go to that resort more often. And that's totally fine. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's their focus.
Exactly.
It's a different focus for us.
Well, I so appreciate you coming on the show today and educating me not only on the dangers of bad massage clinics, but I'm not going to use the other word, or what to look for and some of those things. I really, truly do appreciate it. And I love what you do. I love the Busybody. I'm going to continue to go back there. If you haven't tried them out, they are on the Northwest side. So if you are on the Northwest side, please, please check them out. You will not be disappointed. They are fabulous.
And my dogs would love to meet you guys.
Yes, she has 2 beautiful doggos in the office, and they are the best greeters. And she lets you give them treats too, if you like.
Yeah.
That's why they're so kind. Well, I have learned a lot, and I know the listeners have as well. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you maybe want to talk about or that you want our listeners to know?
Actually, I think we did a pretty good list today.
I think we did as well. What's the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
I definitely should say call.
Call?
I mean, like I said, we're all really busy. I try to check my email throughout the day, but there are sometimes someone has emailed me a question and I missed it. I wouldn't get to it in like a couple of days. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, because you have a 2-hour callback time frame.
Yeah.
You listen to the voicemails.
Exactly.
So what's the phone number?
520-989-0514.
And can they find you on any social media sites?
Oh, yeah. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook as well.
Excellent.
I don't do TikTok. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
I don't. Oh, yeah. That's
creating videos.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
I was like, no, I can't do it. No, I'm not.
I'm not a create video person either. I am not that creative.
Yeah.
I'd get no likes or whatever that is. I don't know what it's called. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Daria, for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
That's all for Connecting with Tucson with Jaime here at the Stewart Title Studios. If you like the show, please let us know. You can connect with the Busybody online at thebusybodymassage.com or go to the Tucson Business Channel, a division of the Mark Bishop Media, and click on Connecting Tucson with Jaime. Click on my smiling face. All of their information is right there for you to view. As always, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and make a new connection. You never know where it might lead. Until next time, Tucson, this is Jaime with Farmers Insurance. Keep on making a unique connection.